Mossberger, along with Pat Hayden and Ara Parsigan. And you are watching one of the more entertaining college football games of the year. With the rain coming down in the Orange Bowl, the Hurricanes of Miami and the Eagles of Boston College are tied at 31 apiece. Bernie Kosar, the sensational sophomore, now trying to bring the Hurricanes to Warren Williams, number 24, who bolts out to the 30-yard line. And Pat Hayden, what about the strategy now that will unfold here in the fourth?
Well, I think this BC defense has to be careful of not giving Bernie Kosar a cheap touchdown. We saw Eddie Brown, number 40, their excellent wide receiver, get behind them earlier in the game. Force Kosar to go the distance, no easy touchdowns, and get Doug Flutie the ball back. Put it in his hands.
Williams and Bratton are the running backs behind Kosar. This is Bratton on the sweep to the right. Inside the 40, almost to the 45-yard line for a first down for Miami. Doug Flutie awaits his turn.
I think they expected Kosar to go back and throw, and here's the second run. Watch Bratton come off tackle, gets beautiful blocking right here. The wide out comes in. I think that was Brown, wasn't it, that came in, number 40? Made a good block, and Bratton comes up with good yardage.
Well, that's impressive when you see Eddie Brown come down and make a block like that, because 5-yard runs become 20 and 30-yard runs when you get a downfield block.
15 more yards for Bratton gives him 66 for the game. Bratton flares to the left. Kosar under pressure. Try to hit Bratton, who ad-libbed, incomplete, dropped the ball. Mike Ruth was putting pressure on Kosar and running him down in that situation. Look at that middle guard as you see the pass distribution of Kosar.
Well, again, we've talked so much about this, but that's why we're seeing a 31-31 ball game, because you can't really say, hey, I'm going to stop a wideout or I'm going to stop a running back, because the minute you try to double up on someone, Bernie Kosar finds the other open receiver.
And rolling to the left, he really made an excellent throw. He put it right there.
The yardage today, and neither quarterback has been sacked. They're so good at escaping trouble. The frustration of Ruth that time as he tried to run Bernie into the ground. Here on 2nd and 10, Kosar to put that time, they got him. The first sack of the game. John Bosa.
He had Brown open. I was watching downfield here, and just as he was getting ready to throw, the first sack of the day on Kosar.
Well, here's the situation where BC wants to get the ball back in Doug Flutie's hands, and here they're going to come after Bernie Kosar for the first time today. The protection breaks down a little bit. Kosar, it was good coverage. Kosar had to hold on the ball an awful long time. Bozar was there to make the sack.
3rd and 21. They worked a stunt that time. They got that big middle guard, Ruth, working a trick over there on the outside. And the left side of the Hurricane offensive line could not handle the two big men. Kosar needs 21 yards for the first down. Sends it to his tight end. He's got him. Smith for the first down. Inside the 45-yard line. What a clutch play.
This is unbelievable. Really unbelievable. Mike Smith, the tight end, he caught 12 passes in last week's game. It is a 3rd and 21 situation. The last person you're thinking about is getting the first down is your tight end, who you don't think tight ends have that kind of speed. Well, Willie Smith does. And again, a beautiful throw, because there was pretty good coverage there by the BC defense. Willie Smith is the tight end. They're playing loose on a 3rd and 21 situation. In the middle of the screen comes Smith, the tight end. Boom. There it is for, he got what, 22, 23 yards, picked up the first down.
At the BC 44-yard line. 12:32 left in the game. Kosar throws back. Intercepted, I believe. Yes, it was. Hold on. Romanowski dove for the ball and came up with it for Boston College.
Here's a second interception. We've seen Bernie Kosar throw here in the second half, but there's been pretty good coverage here by the BC secondary. He tries to drill the ball in, and there's Romanowski, number 53, who made a nice catch in front of Eddie Brown. The turnovers, Ara, you said the turnover could be the difference.
And you know, the thing that impressed me about the BC defense that time is they could have been discouraged after that 3rd and about 20. They came right back with an interception.
Now Flutie and the Eagles go back to work. The ball is on their own 33-yard line. Strahan running. Has an alley on the left side. Gets across the 40-yard line. Reggie Sutton over there helps get him out of bounds for the Hurricanes.
We talked about Bernie Kosar's pass distribution a moment ago. Let's take a look at Doug Flutie again. 12 to the running backs, the wideouts. He hasn't hit the tight end as much as he has in the past. The tight end position has had 42 receptions coming in to today's ball game. If you're Miami's defense, you're going to be more concerned about the outside receivers. Force Flutie to get the ball to his tight end.
Ken Bell checks in at tailback. Fake to him. Flutie goes downfield to Phelan, who's wide open. Inside the 20, the 15, down to the 7-yard line before Reggie Sutton finally rolled him to the ground. A 51-yard pass play as the Magic Man Doug Flutie has done it again, and Jack Bicknell is right back with the next formation.
You called him the Crown Prince at the top of the show. Right there down the bottom of the screen, number 20, Gerard Phelan. A little bit of room given by number 1. Great move there by Phelan as he faked the post pattern, ran to the out. Reggie Sutton, number 1, doesn't really do a very good job of recovering. And there is number 19, Fullington, the free safety, to come over and help make the play. Great move there by Phelan, though.
He just faked Sutton right out.
Right.
I mean, Sutton had no chance. He put a move on him. No way he could catch up with him.
Rain driving down here at the Orange Bowl. They go to the tailback, and Stratford is driven out of bounds. It'll be second down for Flutie and Boston College.
But would you be playing man coverage against Doug Flutie? I'll tell you what, I'm not sure I would against a guy like Flutie.
Well, Pat, I think you got to mix it up. He is such a dangerous guy. You got to try to hide the coverages and mix it up as much as you can. That time, Sutton did not play it particularly well. I mean, he really should have squeezed him a little better. But he thought Phelan was going to go clear across the field, and he started in pursuit, and Phelan made that move, broke to the outside, and, of course, a beautiful throw by you-know-who.
Bell in at tailback. Stratford out. This is Bell. Slants to the right and runs for the corner. Inside the 5 to the 4-yard line, and Darrell Bellington rides him down. It'll be 3rd and goal for the Eagles and Flutie.
Well, the defense has really got to come up with a big play here to force a field goal. They can't afford a touchdown. We're in the 4th quarter here. They did rise to the occasion the last time, but I don't know whether or not you can go man-on-man in this defense.
And a tough call here for Doug Flutie. It is a 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. If I were Doug Flutie, I'd want him on the perimeter of the defense, roll him out, give him as many options as he can have.
Off to the tailback, who is stopped short, and the Eagles are apparently going to have to settle for another field goal, and it was George Myra Jr. with another big defensive play.
I want to tell you, though, that is a surprising call for me by BC on 3rd and 3.
I'll tell you, I'm pleased that defensively, the Hurricanes ought to be pleased that Flutie didn't have the ball to throw. They were able to stop this run. He tried to weave it back to the inside off the tailback action, but I'll tell you this, they'd have been nervous if Flutie had the ball with all the time and his ability to throw. I think I would have thrown that football.
Kevin Snow to attempt a 19-yard field goal that would put BC ahead of Miami. It's good. With 9 minutes and 46 seconds, Doug Flutie and Boston College lead Bernie Kosar in Miami 34-31. We'll be right back.
I'm pleased with that. Look at that Myra come in there and smother him.
BC kicks it off now. J.C. Penney. 15, 20, 25. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Bernie Kosar and the Hurricanes.
Psychologically now here, Brent, Bernie Kosar's come back from the last 2 possessions and thrown interceptions. Affects your psyche. He was a very confident quarterback earlier in the football game. Interesting to see how he responds to those interceptions.
Pat, overall, he's 19 of 30 for 347 yards. Those 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Flutie's at 342 and a pair of touchdowns.
And he has not hit one wide out this second half. And he did in the first half for 205 yards.
Williams is the tailback. Kosar to put it up on 1st down. Freddie Brown, who comes up with a great catch at the 48-yard line.
You know, Brent, you generally don't see great hands on outstanding speed man. Number 40 at the bottom of the screen there is Eddie Brown. He does have outstanding speed, but he's made some remarkable catches with his hands today away from his body. He slips, he gets back up, he's cat quick, he makes the reception, he falls down and still stays in bounds. That's a remarkable play by Eddie Brown,
who has caught 7 passes for 175 yards. First and 10 for Kozar and the Hurricanes. Here's Bratton trying to get around the right side, and he's got daylight. Cuts back inside the 30, through the 20, 10. What a touchdown run by Bratton. Sends it
3 yards for the touchdown.
Rain driving down here, but the fans are not moving. They're just adding another raincoat. Flutie to put it up on first down. Penalty marker is down. He'll take off on the scramble. Gets to the 25-yard line. George Myra Jr. is all over the field, was there on Flutie, but again, there is a penalty marker.
Brent, the point that I was going to make is that right after is during our research, the Miami offensive coaches were not too concerned about the loss of Alonzo Highsmith. And we thought, well, wait a minute, you know,
Here's the 1st and 5 after the penalty. Flutie with time. Throws it complete to Phelan. Out to the 40-yard line for a first down.
But you see here, Arrow, we talked about there was no inside rush there on Doug Flutie. Yes, they're containing him in the pocket, but they're not going to have putting any inside pressure on Doug Flutie. It allows him to step up into a wide open pocket. Watch him step up. Nobody's there in the middle. Right there. Plenty of room to find Phelan number 20. They're going to have to contain him from the outside and then put an inside rush on Flutie.
Bruce Fleming, number 58, was a little late coming back on that play, and there was too big a seam between the deep
here in the Orange Bowl, with Miami leading Boston College by 4 points. Reggie Sutton of Miami was the injured player. He walked off the field under his own power. Benny Blades has come back in at safety for the Hurricanes. And they run Stratford on first down, and he gets another one. Now remember, the Eagles have not scored a touchdown this half. 2 field goals. And Doug Flutie this afternoon against that Hurricane defense. I'm going to tell you, our statistician, Mike Swanson, has had to work overtime with these two guys.
You know, if Doug wins the Heisman, let's take a look at Bernie Kozar. He's had an awfully big day as well. A few more passing yards.
Did you say if?
Yeah, I was going to say when he does. You know, I got a quiz for you guys. Who is the shortest Heisman Trophy winner ever?
Pat Sullivan.
Wrong. Davey O'Brien.
Davey O'Brien.
Right.
Good question.
All right.
Ball at the 48. 1st and 10. Flutie in trouble. Scrambles out of it. Gets to the 43-yard line. Kevin Fagan brought him down there. Can you imagine how tired a defensive player is right now for Miami, having to chase Flutie as much as they've had to do here this afternoon?
Well, you bring up a very good point, because you do expend more energy on defense. That's why you always hear coaches say they want to keep their defense off the field. Coaches say you expend more energy on defense, particularly when you're rushing a passer.
And Flutie has rushed himself 5 times for 45 yards. Rain continuing to drive down here in Miami. I would say that this field is held up remarkably well. Strahan, the runner, is dumped just inside the 45. It'll be 3rd down right there, and 7 yards to go for Boston College.
We have not seen Boston College use as much motion there as they did in the first half. Remember, they had a couple of good motion plays where they brought their tight end Gieselman in motion, hit him a couple of times for some first downs.
This era could be one of the more important plays of the afternoon.
Right, keep in mind it's a 4-point spread. A field goal will not put them in the lead.
Flutie to throw on it. Complete for the first down to Phelan. inside the 20, brought down at the 17-yard line. He is amazing.
Let's take another look at this. Somehow or other, Phelan gets into the seam. He's lined up at the left end here, the split end. He goes down the field. Number 1 is Sutton's back in there again. He works to the outside, just an out pattern. There it is. You can see the linebacker slipped and fell, and he had no sheltering cover there.
Remember, Phelan worked on number 1, Reggie Sutton, a little earlier in the ball game and caught that big corner route.
That's the 10th catch by Phelan for 178 yards. They run Stratford. He gets to about the 12-yard line on that first down carry. What he has accomplished, Doug Flutie's roommate, back at Chestnut Hill, that lovely suburb of Boston, where Boston College sits. Tip O'Neill, a graduate of that school, is here in the Orange Bowl watching the action today. They recently named a library after him there, and some of the students are saying they should have named that Flutie Library. All he has done for Boston College in the last few years, oh, it's just remarkable what one man has done for a school's football fortune. Here is 2nd and 5 now for the Eagles. Strahan bangs down to the 10. Arrow, one of the concerns about Jack Bicknell and the Eagles right now has to be the clock. Not only scoring, but you really don't want to give Bernie Kosar too much time.
Well, they've got a 3rd down and about 2 yards to go. This is a big play. It'll be interesting to see how Miami deploys on this, whether or not they go to a goal line defense, as you say, Jack Bicknell signaling the formation. The play is carried in, as you pointed out, Brent, but the formation is dictated by the coach.
But really, BC has 2 downs here to make 2 yards, because remember, it is a 4-point ball game.
Doug Flutie has just used his first time out of the second half. Coach Jack Bicknell and his quarterback, Doug Flutie, still going over the strategy. It's 4:36 to go in the game. It is 3rd and 2 for the first down. The ball is at the 10-yard line.
I don't know whether I heard Flutie say drag underneath, whether he's going to bring somebody underneath. It seemed like I heard that. Let's see whether or not they come in here with a pass with a drag from one side to the other.
Ken Bell is one of his running backs. He moves up to the wing on the right side. Sprints to the right. Has a receiver in front of him. He's got him. Run out of bounds. Inside the 5-yard line. Kenny Calhoun was the defender against Strahan. They used the fullback coming out of the backfield.
Tremendous pressure here by Miami. He had 82, Kelvin Martin, wide open for a touchdown, but he was able to outrun the defense, dump the ball off for Strahan. Watch 82, Kelvin Martin. Now, he was going to be open here for a touchdown, but Flutie is under so much pressure, he had to get the ball to Strahan, and he picked up a first down. They have 1st and goal.
Flutie is 31 of 42 for 392 yards. Gets close to the goal line. But the only folks signaling touchdown were the Eagles. Nobody in a zebra suit down there threw up his arms. It'll be 2nd and goal after that first down pass from Flutie to Strahan. Kosar will have 3 minutes and maybe 30 seconds to work with.
That's enough time.
Over the top for the touchdown. Boston College takes the lead. Strahan, the fullback, the workhorse of that backfield.
At Steve Strahan, he is their short yardage runner. He gets a nice surge from the right-hand side of the line, rolls his shoulders, breaks the plane of the end zone. For the drive was, again, classic Doug Flutie as he came out on that critical 3rd and 3 down. They tried to blitz him. He got away from the pressure and picked up a first down, setting up the touchdown.
Penalty markers go down. Kevin Snow was getting ready to add the extra point.
Well, the big play on that drive, in my opinion, was the Phelan catch. Here's another shot of the touchdown, but the way they got there was that pass, that key pass to Phelan, which was the big play.
Phelan has done it all game long, catching 10 passes for 175 yards. Strahan up over the top for the touchdown.
I want to tell you, this is a very important extra point here by BC to put them up by 3. He's missed 3 extra points this year, Brent.
Snow is the kicker. It's good. It's Boston College leading by 3. 3:50 to go, and Kozar's at bat.
I like small cars.
We need more room.
Today, Chevrolet has a car for you, the midsize Celebrity.
Feel the room. Ride in style. Go in comfort every mile.
Enjoy midsize room with economy and a price that's surprisingly small. Celebrity.
Lots of stuff here. If this is today's Chevrolet, I like it.
And we need it. Ride today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy.
I'm Mr. Goodwrench. You know what starts when your engine starts? Engine wear.
50 strokes, 100 strokes, 200 piston strokes of wear per second. Only a fine lubricant can protect it. Like GM Goodwrench Motor Oil, the motor oil from General Motors that meets or exceeds all GM specifications.
Great protection for me, Mr. Goodwrench.
Sunday, an NFL doubleheader featuring Philadelphia against St. Louis and San Francisco against New Orleans, or other regional games Sunday on CBS Sports.
Time remaining in the Orange Bowl. So in the third quarter, they kept the ball out of Doug Flutie's hands. But now in the fourth quarter, Kozar has had the ball for only 3 minutes and 19 seconds. And the most important moments of the fourth quarter for Bernie Kozar are coming right now. BC with the lead, kicks it off, and J.C. Penney, the return man, comes to the 20-yard line. And a reminder, of course, that our action continues here. This Oliver has come back in at running back along with Bratton. Bratton has been the running star here this afternoon. They run the end around. And here's Eddie Brown, and the Eagles were ready that time. David Piera, 41, read the play beautifully, came up and made the hit on Brown.
And 2 times earlier, Miami had run that reverse for big yardage. This time, Pereira stayed at home, was disciplined enough there to make the play. You know, as I think about this game, Brent and Era, it reminds me more and more about that Orange Bowl game a year ago, Nebraska versus Miami. You know, this kind of score, this kind of drama.
Resulted in a national championship for Bernie Kozar and the Hurricanes. 2nd and 11. Penalty marker is down. Kozar for Shakespeare, driven out of bounds at the 35, but there was a penalty flag thrown on the play. The right tackle of the Hurricanes appeared to lift off, lift his right hand, just a count or 2 early, and it is going to go against Miami.
Well, it's going to back Miami up, too.
That's a big penalty right there, because that would have been a first down. Now they're going to have 2nd down and 15. I think if I was Boston College, I think I would deploy into a zone. Make them go the hard way. If you go man-to-man or go after...
Against Miami. 2nd down.
Go after them, you could really get burned for a big one.
I know it's a cliche to say this during a great game, but it is a shame to see either of these teams lose this game. Bernie Kozar has been magnificent for Miami, and what more can you say about Doug Flutie? Next week he's going to close out his regular season career at Boston College against Holy Cross. They're going to jet him to New York. He'll go down to the Downtown Athletic Club, and of course he'll pick up his Heisman Trophy. Kozar, there's another penalty marker down. He's got his tight end Smith for an apparent first down. But let's wait and see what the penalty marker is. Neil Eiton with the coverage for the Eagles.
Harry, you had the right call here, I think, in having BC's defense lay back and throw things in front of you. The BC people believe it's against Miami.
Ineligible receiver downfield and another costly penalty.
Well, we talked at the beginning of the show, Brent. Remember how many penalties that Miami has had this year? 84. This is what they've had 4 or 5 penalties today.
And that's a loss of down also. That puts a 3rd down and long yardage. They're really in a jam right now. They need a big play.
And if they have to give the ball up, Doug Flutie is going to get very good field position.
Pat, they have been penalized 7 times for 55 yards. Just the point you made.
But those last 2 penalties were crucial. They had first down situations on both of them. And no reason on a pass you should have an illegal receiver down the field.
Ball is back at the 10-yard line with 2:47 to go. And it's going to be 3rd down and 21. They have faced one previous 3rd and 21 in this game and hit the tight end Smith for 23. Kozar pulls out into the end zone. Flushed. Throws back over the middle to Oliver. Darrell Oliver gets back short of the original line of scrimmage. Neil Eiton, number 43, defensively there for the Eagles.
It looked like he was going to make it, though, didn't it, there for a minute? They say Bernie Kosar is not the most mobile guy in the world, but he knows how to buy himself a little bit more time. You're going to see him get out of the pocket now. He knows he's in the end zone here. He knows potentially it's 2 points. But he does get out. He has a vision. He picks up a nice block, buys himself a little bit more time, dumps it off to Oliver with 20 yards. He's going to pick up a nice block here on the outside, Oliver is. And they're just short of the 1st down. Ball was down.
Time remaining, 2:19. Miami will go for it on 4th down. We'll be back with that play in a moment. No question about our Chevrolet players of the game. For Miami, of course, it's Bernie Kosar. And for Boston College, it is Doug Flutie. So a check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each college's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. And what a performance these athletes have given us here this afternoon. 2:19 left. It's 41-38. Boston College over Miami. 4th down. Bratton's got the 1st down. Gets out to the 35-yard line. Down to 2:15, and Jimmy Johnson and the Hurricanes with a chance against Jack Bicknell and the Eagles.
BC goes with their bread and butter. That's Melvin Bratton, who's been a strong runner all day over the right side. Dave Heffernan, his tackle, gave him a nice block. It was a 4th and 1 situation. Bratton is strong enough to pick up the 1st down.
Remember earlier, Eddie Brown got open deep and dropped a certain touchdown pass. He is split out to the right side. Stanley Shakespeare is to the left. Kozar wants Brown. Has it near midfield. It'll be another 1st down. Todd Russell, who intercepted a big pass for the Eagles, was there with the coverage.
The footwork of Eddie Brown. Big rush there on Kozar, but he has the strength in his arm. And again, once more, Eddie Brown comes back for the football. So many receivers don't do that, and now those result in interceptions. But Brown does come back and catch it with his hands.
He's caught 8 for 190 yards. A certain top draft choice in the National Football League. Late in the day, and with the rain having pelted down, it is difficult for Kozar to set himself and throw as hard as he'd like to. Brown makes a cut on the right-hand side. They got him right now at the 41-yard line. Tony Thurman with the coverage.
Great players play great in big games, and that's what this is. This is a big game, and you're seeing some great play by number 40, Eddie Brown, as well as Bernie Kozar, and a whole host of people out there. A little curl in, he beats you deep, he beats you on out routes, and then he comes back with a little curl route. Very difficult to defend the man.
Minute 33 on the clock, and they're measuring out to see if they have the 1st down. And Brown has 200 of the total 1,153 yards.
You know, Aaron, I'm surprised that BC hasn't put somebody over Brown's head really to slow him up at the line of scrimmage. He's been running off the line of scrimmage free. Maybe they ought to put a linebacker out there or something to slow him down.
You know, I think the fans are seeing two of the best college football teams from a passing standpoint and receiving standpoint that I've seen in a long time.
Perhaps in the history of the game. Brown is still split out to the right. Kozar's looking left this time. Throws underneath. And that is Bratton. Inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. An amazing run by Bratton. Thurman finally brings him down.
I think one of the interesting things, they doubled up on the wide receivers, and immediately Kosar goes right now to the single coverage guy, goes to Bratton right there, and the double guys he lets go. And watch Bratton run, put the moves on. Tremendous football player, and he's a replacement for Alonzo Highsmith.
Oh,
not a bad replacement.
Yeah.
Kozar now at 425 yards passing for the game. Backs up on first down. Throws incomplete. Wanted his tight end Smith that time. Romanowski, the linebacker, was there on the coverage for Jack Bicknell. Here in the Orange Bowl, a minute to go in one of the most exciting games of the year, with Boston College leading the Miami Hurricanes 41-38. BC headed for the Cotton Bowl. Miami to the Fiesta Bowl. Second and 10. Kosar hit, goes to the end zone, overthrows Stanley Shakespeare.
It was overthrown on Stanley Shakespeare, but it would have been a touchdown but there was pretty good pressure put on Kosar by the Mike Ruth and some of the other the defensive line of BC. That's what caused him to overthrow Shakespeare.
Gorecki was among those defensive players coming in hard that time. Third down and 10. Inside of a minute. Ed Brown now goes to Kozar's left. Shakespeare is to the right. Down when the tackle is missed. And Eddie battles his way to the 5-yard line. Incredible effort with Thurman hanging on.
At the top of the show, we said Bernie Kosar was going to get the ball to the wide receivers, and unless you put a linebacker over his head, he's going to keep throwing this out route to Eddie Brown. He's caught at least 5 out routes, and then you're going to see the tremendous determination and effort by Eddie Brown as he makes a tackle, and there's somebody there. Thurman is hanging on as Eddie Brown is getting everything he can out of the reception.
For the game, Eddie Brown. An incredible performance by Eddie Brown. Watch him here as he gets away first from Neil Iton. Then Thurman will come up, grasp him by the ankle and pull back, and Brown battles his way to the 5-yard line. May have stretched a ligament. He left the field, though, under his own power, and he has given the Hurricanes an opportunity to pull this one out. 46 seconds to go. Doug Flutie and Boston College watching now as their defensive teammates try to shut down Bernie Kosar. Here is Oliver running to the left, gets up to about the 2-yard line. 30 seconds left in the game. Miami is down to its last timeout, remember. They have used 2 of their 3. And that'll be all of their timeouts. They have just called number 3. I think a rather positive statement about what he wanted to do.
I think he wants to run the ball right at them. However, he's got no timeouts remain in 30 seconds. If he's going to do that, he needs to call 2 plays in the huddle.
That's exactly right. And they've got plenty of time to run 2 plays.
Kosar on the afternoon is 25 of 38 for 447 yards. Miami will attack with 3 tight ends. Willie Smith, of course, is the lead one. Bratton and Oliver are set there. Bratton to the end zone. Sensational afternoon by Bratton. 16 carries for 134 yards, 4 touchdowns. This one, of course, the most important with 28 seconds on the clock. Miami has moved up by 3, and obviously this extra point would put touchdown pressure on Boston College with only 28 seconds to go.
Boston College has 2 timeouts remaining. It is not impossible. That's Alvin Ward. Let's take a look at the touchdown by Melvin Bratton. We've seen 4 or 5 short yardage plays each time. They've given the ball to Bratton, and he's dived over the top here. Good surge by the offensive line that allowed him to do that.
He really didn't have to dive. I mean, there was a hole there as you look at it again.
Well, they did what Kosar wanted to do.
They listened to Bernie, didn't they? But this is the culmination of an interesting drive. Remember the great effort we saw by Eddie Brown on the reception and the play before this. The great determination of Bernie Kosar and Melvin Bratton on a couple of runs before that. And the blocking of the offensive line. Watch the surge there. You're right, there is a big hole there. He doesn't have to jump. He made up his mind in the huddle, it looked like. But nonetheless, he's in the end zone.
Was the blocker. The extra point is added. And it's 45-41 as Miami moves 79 yards in 12 plays. The drive took 3:22. And there's nothing but heartbreak for the Eagles, who have played so courageously here this afternoon.
Keep in mind there was a 4th down and a short yardage situation in that drive. And, you know, things can happen. You can slip. You can have a mishandle of the ball. That was a very critical play there also.
Now, don't count that man out yet, though, either. He has 2 timeouts remaining. I know he's in tough odds, but he's got 2 timeouts left.
That's right. You can't count that fella out right there.
First thing they want is a good return on this kickoff. They want to give him some decent field position to work with.
Or don't return it and waste time on the clock.
I think he'll try to get it downfield. They don't want to give him field position. Plus, he's got the wind.
It'll be at the 20-yard line. 28 seconds for Doug Flutie and the Eagles. Flutie picks up Stratford, and there's a penalty flag down. They get out to the 39. They'll get the clock stopped at 20 seconds.
BC rushes 3 and drops 8 here, which is obviously what you want to do in 30 seconds. But Troy Stratford is out on a wing. He is normally a halfback. Again, Flutie just finds the area where Stratford is in. Stratford's doing his best to try to get out of bounds.
Penalty against Miami was declined. So on the 19-yard gain, the ball is spotted at the 39. Flutie now goes over 400 yards with that pass. 4:11 on the afternoon. And he's not finished. Flutie gets it out of bounds. Gieselman is tied in. Cross midfield. 12 seconds left on the clock after that 13-yard gain. The chains move, of course, for another first down. Boston College has not used either of their 2 timeouts. Remember that the clock stops on a first down in college football. 12 seconds to go. And Doug Flutie is within 48 Incomplete. Intended for Peter Casparilla, a tight end coming across at the 32-yard line. And now Doug Flutie is down to his last at bat.
I really think Flutie's got to throw this ball into the end zone or down around the 5-yard line in hopes of, if they don't get the completion, a possibility of an interference. Game cannot end on a defensive penalty, so they would have another play. So I think he's got to put it up down and deep in the end zone.
Maybe a design scramble to allow him to find some time.
Penalty marker is down. Play is stopped. One thing is certain. Those brave folks who sat out here in the Orange Bowl and put up with this terrible weather saw a whale of a football game, and they should give both teams a rousing ovation when this one is over.
This is one of the better ones that I've seen.
Receivers out to the right. Flutie flushed. Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Eagles win it.
Unbelievable.
I don't believe it. Phelan is at the bottom of that pile. Here comes the Boston College team. He threw it into the end zone. There was no time left on the clock. The ball went between two defensive backs of Miami. Jack Bicknell is the only person over there on the sidelines. He couldn't get the headset off fast enough. Doug Flutie has done it. And your heart goes out to Bernie Kosar, who did everything he could. And like we said, it went down to the last at bat. And Flutie and Boston College have won it.
He's asking where Kosar is.